Today we're going to take a look at the student's project and just make a few improvements and show you how to troubleshoot some of the things that are going on in here. And I guess some of this will be stylistic. There are different ways to do things in Revit, but I'm just going to show a few different options. So the first thing we're going to look at is this upper roof. So I'm not sure exactly what the intent behind this is, but ideally what we want is to have a consistent overhang. So we look over here, we have a 1'4" overhang, and then over here it looks like the roof is split into two. So the first thing I do is I'm going to delete these two. And it looks like something similar is happening on the front here. So again, I'm probably going to delete one of these just to keep it simple. Change the overhang to 1'4". And click that wall. And then use the fillet command to join those sections. We got 9/12 pitch. This is a 5/12. So let's change this to a 5/12. And that's already looking better. This whole roof looks pretty good. The only thing here is, we're going to want to have this overhang that wall. So I'm going to use the align tool and align. And that with that, just at least that's on top like that. Alternatively, we could do the other way where we bring that wall in. And for the final, I'm just going to emphasize, just move that other wall over there. You want to be careful of that. So to fix that, the best thing to do, I'm just going to go to the plans here. So it looks like this plan, this region is really large. You can actually do a custom region. So when the region's really big like that, I usually go to edit region and just delete it and recreate it. The other thing about this second level is there's actually a roof and stuff over on this side and something on this side, so I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. I'll get back to what I was doing here in a second, but we're just going to want to drop this plane down. I'm just going to go -2, and we'll do -2 for here as well. Those kind of two have to always be the same, and I don't know why. So let's turn off the overlay, and I'm just going to move that down a little bit, and I'm just going to see what our phase. So let's go show complete. So that pushes my walls like that. What is going on here? So the first thing here is this floor is kind of messed up, so I'm just going to delete this line and reselect it to that wall. And it looks like it's not joining properly with this other line. And the other thing is, right now we're kind of seeing a popcorn effect with that floor. So I'm just going to go to edit here. I'm going to go to edit, and this is just the easiest way to remove the hatch. It's running really slow tonight for some reason. I'm just going to pause this. And now that we're back, you can see that it finally opened up with that window, and it's showing the sand as the region. So we're just going to click no pattern and click OK. OK, apply, and that'll show as solid white. So I'm going to get back to fixing some of the things in here after, but we're going to go deactivate view and go over this other view over here. So because this wall is joined the way it is, I'm actually just going to copy this like that. I'm just going to delete this other one. And yeah, it looks like it's in the place we want it to be. I'm just going to realign here to here. Yeah, there we go. And now that's lined up. And I don't know exactly if there's a reason why this is not going all the way to the top. But if that is purposeful, you can leave it like that. We tend not to do exterior closed areas like that. Just can be problematic for different reasons, but I'm just going to leave that the way it is. I don't know exactly if there's any intent for this being the way it is, but one thing I do see is with this, we're going to generally want to have a very similar overhang. So I'm just going to select these ones over here. You're going to want to have a similar overhang. And that's going to actually, as much as it doesn't look like that helps us out here, it is going to. And as much as this course isn't a practical course, we want to be cautious of how things actually work, because in reality they need to be waterproof, and there needs to be some intent as much as we're not really teaching how to do all those details. So, ideally this roof we're going to want to drop probably a foot, just so that it's away from the bottom of that window and away from the bottom of this wall. And so that's just going to screw up our curtain walls a little bit here. But the other thing is we're going to want this roof here to go to the outside of this and to the outside of this at the very minimum. Depending on the design, you're going to want to maybe go farther, or there has to be some sort of detailing that's going to respond to that. We'll just bring these both down to there. And we'll do the other side as well. Constraints. And then it looks like these curtain walls aren't going up all the way, so we're just going to want to bring those up like that. And the same here. Bring those down. And bring that up. And for some reason this wall isn't going out all the way, so I'm just going to grab that and align there. And do that on the other side as well. And we're going to want to bring this down as well. And as much as I think these changes are both aesthetic and kind of practical in some respects. You want to make sure everything makes sense, and that's kind of my intent here. I don't know exactly what's going on here. If this is on an angle, let's look at it in plan. That looks straight, so it must be the roof that's on an angle. Maybe the roof has a slope. Yeah, so the roof does have a slope, which that's actually really good. That's what you want. So we're just going to go back to this here, and we're going to click the bottom line here and align that. And so now there won't be a hole there anymore. So we have our glass room, and then we'll do the same on this side. Align that. I'm using the tab key just to change selection. Yeah, so that's how you'd want to do that. I guess the other thing over here, you probably want this to be higher than the deck, or at least at the level of the deck. As much as that's kind of more of an aesthetic thing, it's I guess more of a practical thing. So like that, and in that case, we don't need that railing there because it's right up next to that wall. So we can remove that railing. And these windows are very low. So typically when we want a sill height of a window that's a 38 by 42, you want them to be 3 feet high. You basically want the top of the window to be somewhere around 6, 8 to 7 feet. So I don't know why. So these windows aren't cutting for some reason, so I'm just going to edit the family for a second and see what's going on. They should cut, but what's probably happening is it's missing a wall opening family. So it does have an opening cut. Let's see if this fixes. I don't know why. So new construction. Oh, so because there's different phases here, you want to just change the phase filter to show complete, and those will actually cut, and the door back here will actually cut, and that will fix that problem. There you go. Something weird going on with this here. Maybe not. That looks, I guess it's meant to be like that. Problem there, but I guess that would just be aligning. I'm not going to really get into that too much. I'm not sure if yeah, this is purposeful, but anyways, I'm just going to, for my own sake, I'm going to fill that in like that. These walls that are shown as generic, you're going to want to add a material at some point to those for the final. And then let's go into something weird going on level 2. So there's, I don't know what the purpose of this extra wall is, but what we'll do is we'll use the sectional tool. So if you go to your 3D view, you can go down here to section box, and it opens up this section box, and we can cut into the building like so. And so, okay, it looks like, yeah, so it looks like this is not necessary, and we can bring this back into there like that. And then this can then go over to meet there. And where this building, where the basement is, it looks like the basement walls aren't necessarily lined up, so we're going to want to fix that here. And we also want to add a building pad, so let's just go into massing and site, building pad, and let's go to basement here. Let's add a building pad. So I'm going to use the pick wall button, and we'll just pick all these walls here. And now when we go back to our 3D view, you can see how the ground is cut around those floors. And we can also go back into here, click one of these, click this switch button. And then what that's going to do is going to switch that line to the outside of the walls. The inside, now we lose those green area. You want to do this as well to the garage if you haven't done so. Looks like there might be one in the garage actually. So is this a building pad here or is this a floor? I'm not sure why my computer's being slow. Yeah, so this pad right here in the garage, I'm just gonna bring. No, it's a steel floor. So this is not completely necessary for the garage. The garage, you just want to have a floor 4-inch. So I'm just gonna go to generic. Just make this a 4-inch concrete slab. This one in here and change this to 4-inch. I know some people do 5, some people do 6, but I think that's fine for the purpose of this. I'm not really going to be grading on the actual practical structural aspects, but you probably want to show some sort of foundation under the walls. If you're not very familiar with how that works, then I guess either ask about it or just show some sort of wall under there. It looks like this stair is going the other direction. You notice that when you click on a stair, I'm just going to move this down arrow away. There's actually this little arrow here. And so now we go back into 3D view. That's going in the right direction. And we just want to add a building pad for, so I don't know what this is. Looks like that floor is going into there as well, so I'm just going to move that. We're going to want to add a building pad underneath this garage floor, so I'm just going to pick wall. So because we have a pad underneath, I'm just going to bring this off by 2 inches or something so they don't touch. And now you don't see that grassy thing happening in the garage. So this doesn't need to be all the way down there. Let's make this a 1. And we'll make this -2 maybe. Yeah, like that. -2.4. There we go. So just some minor adjustments. It looks like the stair isn't going high enough. So let's see what's going on. It looks like the stair is modeled as a stair option. So once you've figured out which options you want to do, you want to go into here and just click select primary. And option set 2 is select primary. Close that. Looks like this is missing some stairs or something, so let's go into here and let's edit stairs. Yeah, so it says the desired number of stairs is 18. A couple tricks I'm going to do in here is one is the maximum rise by code is 7 5/8. So I'm just going to change that, and it actually reduced. It got us 2 more runs out of there, so we just need to add 2 more runs. And looks like that's going to cause problems with our upstairs. So let's go to level 2 and see what we can do here. So maybe what we'll do we're going to change these stairs a little bit. So instead of them being in that position, let's delete this. And really, ideally you want a stair to be 4 feet wide. 3 is really narrow. So I'm gonna, and the other thing I find that's really helpful is to do an open stringer stair. What that means is the stringers are going to be underneath the step instead of on the side. And when you're drawing a stair, it looks a lot cleaner. Something like that. So based on this stair move, proportionally there's some stuff that needs to be fixed up in here. You can also tell that this dimension between here, you really want to have 3 feet minimum for like a private space, so like a bedroom, but really you want to have 4 feet wherever you can. So I'd recommend doing some tweaking to this to figure out, I guess, better proportions for things. So I'm just going to level 2. We'll move this stair into its right spot here. Yeah, this is a little bit tight here, so let's delete that arrow for now. I'm not going to go fully into that, but those are just a couple things that I'd want to watch for when it goes into submitting your final. You want to be careful of the width of the stairs and I guess the spacing and area you have within your model. So hopefully this little tutorial helps kind of fix up some of those things and helps you prepare for your final project.